And now, Freelance Heroism presents Dragon Heist.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Freelance Heroism. My name is Deese.
And I'm Rachel.
And before we even get started, I just want to say thank you to everyone out there who donates at the Patreon, in particular those who donate at the producer tier. You help us make a better show for everyone. Rachel, would you like to let us know who they are?
Yes, I would love to. We want to say thank you to Duncan, Nate, Breakmeister, Rebecca, Orient_Tiger, and Chris Sones. Thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you. Really, we really appreciate it. And we're just happy that we can make content for you.
Yeah.
They have a macaroni and cheese restaurant here.
A whole restaurant for macaroni and cheese?
All they do is sell mac and cheese, different variants of mac and cheese.
That sounds great. I tried to get
I know
mac and cheese at a restaurant here recently, and it was so bad because everyone here is white, so no one adds spices to anything. And I got it and I brought it to D&D. And one of my players was like, "Oh, that looks good," and I hadn't tried it yet. And I was like, "Oh, do you want to grab like a spoonful of it before I start eating from it?" And he did. And I was like, "Oh, how was it?" He's like, "It's pretty good." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And then I tried it, and I was like, "Kevin, this is the worst mac and cheese I've ever tasted in my life. What is wrong with you?" Like, they didn't even add salt to it. It was so, like there was no salt or pepper. Like, it was just the most bland noodles with like cheese, and then some, because they had put it on the bottom of my bag, and then the other stuff I ordered they set on top of it, so it had like squished the breadcrumbs.
Ugh. I
was like, this is the worst. Like, what is wrong with you, Kevin? Why would you say this is good? This is terrible.
There's some bad recipes out there that people really dig.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Georgia likes these, what are they called? The people eat them for Thanksgiving. Green bean casserole.
Oh, yeah.
You ever had a green bean casserole?
I love green bean casserole.
Okay, well, this is not going to be a segment for you. Because that shit is fucking gross. I've never had a good one. If you've brought one to the house for Thanksgiving, I'm talking to you. Your shit sucks. I've never had a good one. I don't even know what they're supposed to taste like. They're supposed to taste like green beans.
I love green beans.
I like green beans too. I do not like green bean casserole. It's fucking gross. Everybody's using the same recipe and it sucks. Make a new one. Mix it up. This lady bought one from the store. She didn't have time to cook, so she went and got a green bean casserole from like the grocery store.
Green bean casserole is so easy to make.
It was already made.
How
do you make? Tell me how you make it. This will be the intro. Tell me how you make your green bean casserole, and I'm gonna go every time you're wrong. Okay, go. Start. I kind of want to go get a cigarette for this.
Can I say before I list ingredients?
Oh God.
I don't really make them. I like when other people make them, and I get to just eat it.
Okay.
So I don't really. Okay. So to make a
You're Googling it right now. You're Googling how to make it. Okay.
No. So to make a green bean casserole, you mix together cream of mushroom soup. Canned green beans. And then you bake it.
That's the worst thing I've ever heard. That's not a recipe. You put two things in a pot and then you cooked it. It's dumb. Come on, guys. We can do better. Right?
How would you improve the green bean casserole?
Well, the mushroom soup thing needs to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if that flavor that tastes like dog shit is the flavor that I'm supposed to be really enjoying, but it's terrible. If that soup is terrible, the people who make it are terrible by proxy. I don't think you guys are irredeemable, but the recipe is good making it. I mean, look, green beans are good.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you adding shit that makes them not? Right? Green beans are already good. Lay them flat, heat the temperature underneath them really hot, throw some fucking Parmesan and some olive oil on it, maybe crush a little garlic. Done. That's good. Just serve that.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are we putting mushroom soup in there? I don't know. It's a southern thing. They really, really fucking like that shit down here, and every fucking person thinks they're the first person to ever fucking think of it, and they just bring it to your house, and they're just like, "Hey, guess what I made?" I'm like, "Let me guess, a green bean casserole," and they're like, "Yeah, how'd you know?" I'm like, "Because he's right last year, you dumb fuck." It's gross. It's really disgusting. Nobody ever eats it. That's why everyone is always throwing it away. I think it's like, you ever had one of those holiday fruit cakes?
Oh.
The ones that are like shaped like a football?
Yeah.
And they taste like a football? Yeah. We have traditionally eating bad food. That's like our thing. You know?
Yeah.
As a society, as a culture.
There are weird regional foods. Like up here, they really like bread in a can.
Gross.
And I'm like,
I don't even know what the fuck
I'm
that
like,
means.
you've made that up during the Great Depression.
Yeah.
And now you guys won't stop making it.
Yep. Someone told me one time, traditions are just peer pressure from dead people. I think that's probably the best thing I've ever heard. And especially when it comes to things you don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Things that people keep doing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I make a baller ass mac and cheese. It takes a long time,
Mm-hmm.
but like for like Thanksgiving, for like the full extended family comes over, I'll make like a bunch of like a tray, right? And then this stuff called corn casserole, which I actually hijacked from the South. This place has some good food, but they don't value the ones that are good. They only value the shitty ones. So like this corn casserole thing is very awesome. I was at an ex-girlfriend's family's Thanksgiving thing one time,
Mm-hmm.
and I ate this, and I was like, I don't know what this is. What is this? And nobody could answer me. They were just like, I don't know, yellow. And I'm like, no, but what is it? So I went to the grandma. I was like, what is this? And they're like, corn casserole. I'm like, what's in it? And they're like, corn. And I'm like, no, but there's other stuff in here, right? It's not just corn, because I know what corn is. Unless you whip the shit out of the corn, I don't think this is it. So then they told me that a lot of people use corn as like just a vegetable, but they don't take into account that it's actually very sweet,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this uses cream corn, regular corn, drained of the liquid or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and then butter, milk, sour cream, and stuff like that. And they kind of turn it into this almost like batter, like a thick batter. And then they lay it flat in like a baking dish, and then they cook it until the water kind of evaporates out of it, and it solidifies almost like a bread texture.
Yeah, that is really good.
It's fucking banging. I make that, and my brother had it one time for the first time, because I was like trying to come up with new recipes for Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, this is amazing. And he's like eating it nonstop, just like fucking shoving it down his throat. I'm like, this is a success. You know how you can tell it's a success? You can't throw it away at the end of the day because it's gone. Right?
Right.
Green bean casserole is so gross. The fuck is wrong with people? What's another thing that people eat that you hate?
I don't like mushrooms.
Yeah.
I don't like the texture. I don't like
They're
the
wet.
taste. I don't.
Yeah, they're like spongy wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that there are times where that texture can be doable, but for the most part, yeah, I think that texture is. I think it's an ingredient. You know, it's like how you don't eat cloves of garlic flat.
Right.
Mushrooms probably shouldn't be eaten that way either.
Yeah.
No, I'm kind of with you. Yeah, I can kind of see that. I don't like Spam. You know Spam?
Yes.
I know I'm like the meat eater here in
Mhm.
our a little one-on-one chat here, but I don't like it. I've never liked it. My dad used to think I liked it, and he used to make it all the time, and it's gross.
Oh no.
Sorry, Dad. Sorry, Dad. I never told you I just ate it because I thought you wanted me to have it. But it's gross. It's really bad. And people like I heard in Hawaii, it's like one of those things where it's like these people really like spam, and it's in like their like really expensive recipes, like at nice restaurants. And I'm like, it's spam, and they love it. And in Australia, I think they like it too. You know what? I'm trying to. If you could only eat one food, right, for the next year, I'm going to say your whole life. Okay. But if you could only eat one food for the next year, what would it be?
Does it have to be like the same ingredients, like the same specific ingredients?
I would think something similar. Like, I mean, maybe you could put ketchup on one and not on the other, but it needs to be relatively similar.
Okay. So I couldn't be like, oh, salad, but I have different ingredients in the salad every day.
That's a little tricky. If I were a genie, I would definitely come after you for like with one of my weird kind of punishments. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think I would allow that. Make me a salad. Boom, you're a salad, you know?
For a whole year.
Whole year. Ooh, I like how long you're thinking about this. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with...
Wow. You're really putting a lot of brain power behind this.
Well, because I have to think of like the specific ingredients in it.
Yeah.
And then also because I'm a vegetarian, I have to be like, what is going to have enough protein for me to survive?
I hadn't even considered that.
So I don't want to be like, oh, I want to have like...
No, I don't think it's because you're a vegetarian you're saying it needs to have enough protein. I just think that you're thinking about that kind of thing, like at all. It never even occurred to me to think about the caloric intake. I was like, I'm gonna get it there. I'll get there.
I'm gonna say burrito bowls. I really like the burrito bowls from Chipotle with the sofritas, which is like their marinated tofu.
Uh-huh.
And I always get like a ton of vegetables with it.
You lost me at tofu, but okay. Okay.
What would you get?
Hamburger.
Oh.
It's it's simple. It's easy. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm an American. What are you gonna do? I'm an American man. What are you gonna do? Hamburger me up. You know, I would say steak. Mm-hmm. But hamburger just seems less. I don't know. Something about a hamburger just feels right to me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like all foods sort of radiate out from hamburger to me in every direction. You know? It's like one more meat, steak, ribs, wings, right? In the other direction, you know, you want less. It's like grilled cheese sandwich, fucking PB&J. Everything kind of radiates out from the burger, I think. That's my philosophy for life. I think we should probably go to the episode. What do you think?
I think so.
Guys, stay tuned for my new book. Everything radiates from burger. Burger is the center of my world. It's gonna be coming out late September.
All right. Well, this is our Dragon Heist season 1 finale.
Yeah.
So after this episode, we're gonna take a little break from Dragon Heist and have...
Oh, are we doing the thing?
Yes.
The library thing?
Yes. Oh. So next week we'll have some episodes from a Candlekeep game that I ran, and David, Deese, and Nate are my awful players in it.
Oh man, can we say new characters?
Yeah, new characters.
New characters.
I really enjoyed the concept that you guys put behind them.
Oh.
But this week is Dragon Heist, and this is Dragon Heist episode 31. I feel like I'm gonna butcher this name.
Good.
Panem et Circenses.
Yeah, nice work.
All right.
That means bread and circuses.
Yeah, I mean, it may. I'm working under the assumption that I'm going to have to. That I'm not just going to get one name, but maybe I do. But yeah, if it turns out that I've got a lot of information to go through, then by all means, I can use an extra set of eyes. But I'd prefer at this point if maybe you stayed away from the docks as much as possible.
Well,
If we're in the middle of one of these cycles, the last thing I need is for you to go down there and get your head chopped off.
but if I go during the day, I should be fine.
Well, that's true, but
wouldn't it be better to keep an eye on her? Since it's 3 of us fighting whoever's trying to kill elves is better than her by herself trying to,
Well, yeah, I suppose there's safety in numbers.
Which is why I brought these 50 orphans as a human shield.
Everyone strap little Timmies and Johnnies to your legs and walk around. Yeah.
Everybody grab a scrunchie. Make a human link.
Well, if our business is done here, then why don't we just go ahead and do it now while it's still daylight?
Okay. Where's Kavir?
He stepped outside.
Okay. Well,
I imagine he's either keeping an eye on something or about to start trouble. Let's go figure out which one.
okay. I'm gonna wave bye to my dad.
He waits back, gives you a wink.
Have we gotten any report back? Well, my bet's going to be withstanding, so I'll come back and check on it later.
All right.
We really die over a lunch?
Well, I don't know. It's it's Xander Mountain. I mean, anything can happen, right?
Sure.
Yo.
That and they had 2 rangers, a rogue, and a fighter.
Yeah, there was no cleric, so I mean, I'm
Everyone
surprised they
was
even made it down the
melee
rope.
spec.
They got beat by 1 archer. So you guys exit the building, I guess?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm leaned up against the side, so when you guys come out, I'll be like, we got some snake watchers.
We got some what?
I'm gonna look
Over
over
there.
the guys.
I'm going to point at the 3.
Oh. All right, so they're still at it, huh?
They're keeping an eye out, trying to make sure that they say that there's no more violence, but I wouldn't be put it past them to start it up.
Well, then let's not try and be in the middle of it when it happens.
Did they say why they're doing this?
They said that they had lost some friends, or I'm assuming this is sort of a reprisal thing. They're just trying to. They said they're trying to keep things from getting out of hand, is what they said. But I don't necessarily trust that people who show up with weapons are trying to keep things out of hand.
Well, they could be. I mean, one of the Doom Raiders was killed, so maybe they think, Devil asked me if I thought someone from Xanathar's did it, so they're probably, on edge. They already don't like each other.
I think that this is ramping up a little bit.
Yeah.
It started off with independent skirmishes around.
Mm-hmm.
Now it looks like it's ramping up to the point where there might be full-on conflict in the streets. I was just told by these 3 knuckleheads that apparently the guards have started including a mage with every patrol. Which, that's some heavy artillery for walking around.
Are they?
Apparently they know something we don't. They're preparing for exactly what I'm suspecting, I think.
David, what is it called in Waterdeep where like all the citizens who have magical ability have to basically like sign up for the reserve? Like is that who they're pulling?
The Magic Draft.
Only held on Fridays.
I want to make a restaurant called TGIFU.
I always love Carlin's joke about that. If I'm ever had a bar, I'd call it HSIOW. Holy shit, it's only Wednesday. Because people would drink a lot more if they only thought it was Wednesday all the time.
Any arcane caster, if they're staying in Waterdeep for any length of time or like long times, they're required to register themselves with the Watch or the city, and they're strongly encouraged to join the Watchful Order, the Magistrate, and Protectors. And They're expected to render service to the city when called upon as temporary members of the city watch or city guard.
So that means
So,
Adri could potentially be pulled into that.
age, yes, but as an artificer, they wouldn't.
Last
But-
resort.
Yeah,
Bottom of the barrel. I'm
Yeah,
fine.
you're not the glass cannon. They'll pull Victor first.
No, Victor's a child.
Oh no, Victor is going to Vietnam.
Oh.
No, hunt me some Charlie.
He's gonna
Don't
get
worry,
in.
I'll
It's
buy
just
him a
like, Victor,
cream
you are
CD.
11 years old.
I can magic missile for days.
Go play Xbox.
Sure, I'm gonna play with
In a
Mom.
white room with black curtains in the station. He needs to wear a headband and cut his sleeves off.
All right. So, you guys heading off to the Darkmaster?
Yes.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Uneventful travel. You guys get down through there, and you guys definitely see what you guys were. It's like the fires of gang war are elevating. You're definitely seeing more Xanathars moving around. You're definitely seeing more Black Network moving around, and if you know where to look as you guys travel, and the watch is ramped up. Dock patrols are now at the 12 with a mage, if not 2. Pretty much everyone's standing in a room waist deep in gasoline, saying, "I got more matches than you right now."
Great.
Yeah, I think we might have to start taking a more alert posture.
So, side note, I think that's one of my most favorite political comics about the Cold War.
What?
Was it had the two politicians, the U.S. and Russia, waist deep in gasoline, and they're both like, "I got more matches than you."
Mm.
One of my favorite political comics from back in the day. But first time I was able to use that in game. So, you guys reach the Darkmaster's office. He looks up. Trichet!
How are you now?
Heard you leaving the docks.
Left the docks actually, but only I have a summer home now elsewhere in the city. Let's just put it that way for a moment.
I don't blame you. What can I do for you?
Well, actually, I was hoping we might be able to take a look at some of your logs. We are. God damn it!
Well,
I said it.
I
thought
charged for that.
I know. I said it. I thought I was going to get away with it, and I was wrong.
We
No.
want to sniff your Three Musketeers if you don't mind. See what the fragrance is like.
You want to work that shaft?
Let me
Take a
sniff
look.
the bouquet of your brownie basket. Look at Ned's face.
No. My interest is not in Satan's duffel bag.
Satan's
Though that
gym
gym bag was ripe.
Satan's gym bag. We
That was grade A shit.
yeah. Yeah. All right, compose.
Sorry, I still like the visual of rolling a turd along a treadmill. Look how smooth this one rolls. So good.
It's kind of like polishing a turd. Anyway.
We got one of us is gonna have to be the bigger man here.
Yeah, we have to. Yeah. No. So I was hoping that you might be able to help us out here with some information. How far back do your shipping records go?
Are you asking me as Ray Trichet? Or are you asking me as a friend?
Maybe a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B right now.
You talking about the main book or the black book?
I'm talking about both.
I could just go back 15, 20, so.
All right.
Just got to get the right books out.
Well, let's say we pull back the books every year for the last 10 years, right about this time.
Every 6 months.
Oh, okay. Well, then we got 20 sets of books.
All right. He goes in the back, and he comes out with one box. Comes out with the second box, and he starts bringing more boxes out.
Oh, that's a whole lot of boxes.
Eventually, he sets about 6 boxes down,
All right.
and he sets a current logbook on top of it.
Well, that's where I'll start.
And then he looks at you. One more. And he goes to the back and he pulls out another logbook, smaller, and he sets it down. Those are the logs of the ones that paid me not to write them in the book.
Well, then I will start with that book. And believe me, I understand discretion's the better part of valor. So all I need is my information, and then I'll move on.
He
So
nods.
I take the small book, and then I take the small book. How far back does the small book go?
The small book covers the length of time of the other boxes.
So it's a good, okay.
Mhm.
So I'm just going to start studying that book then. I'm not worried about the rest. If I start looking every 6 months, do I see a repeat of any names?
5 names total.
All right.
As you guys have gone, as you guys are doing your stuff.
And do I recognize any of them?
Yes, you recognize 3 of them. 2 of them you don't recognize, but the other 3 you do.
All right. The 3 that I do recognize.
The Jade Princess, the Crimson Jackal, and the Sea Maiden Fair.
And the 2 I don't?
The 2 you don't recognize is the Violet Star and the Hellstone.
And does the book record, do the logs record what they were doing, or is it just that they made port and that was it?
The Sea Maiden Fair, it records it. It's the lead of 3 ships that come in. The Crimson Jackal is a mercenary ship, and the Jade Princess is a merchant ship. The Violet Star is more of a passenger ship that people use for travel, and then the Hellstone is also a merchant ship. But the Hellstone has a underline and then a W next to it.
I point this out and ask, what this underline W underneath the Hellstone, what does that signify?
They dropped a crate one night. The crate had weapons in it.
Is that a repeat? Do I see that a lot, or is it just a single event?
You see it on different on other ships too, but that aren't
Okay.
in the 6 that come through. But it seems that he's logged the ones that he knows brought weapons into port at different times.
All right. Miss Adri, we had reason to believe that this was a merchant or something associated with a merchant. And I'm finding
Well,
2 names.
Just something that comes in regularly, right?
Right. Well, so the Sea Maiden Fair with its 3 ships,
I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say the 3 maiden, the 3 ships for the Sea Maiden's Fair. Is there any indication as to what their purpose is?
You guys actually recognize that as Zod's ships in his little private circus.
Oh, the
Sail before Zod.
So we know. So that one's
Adri's
here.
pirate carriage buddy.
Yes.
Are the other ships also currently here?
Yes, all 3 are in port.
Oh, okay.
Well, not in port. They're
No, I
kind of
mean-
out of port, but yeah, they're here in Waterdeep.
I mean, other than the Sea Maiden Fair, like the 4 other ships are on
No.
the list.
Those are none of the other 2 ships. He only lists the 3 ships under the Sea Maiden Fair.
Right,
So
but
those are-
the ones like the other ones on the list.
No, the other 2 are not really on the list of 5.
I'm not talking about the other ships with
Okay.
the Sea Maiden Fair. I'm talking about the Jade Princess, Crimson Jackal, Violet Star, and Hellstone. Are those here right now?
Yes,
Okay.
all 5 are in port.
Okay.
All right. So either your pirate circus friend is responsible for this, or we've got a group of mercenaries, which I don't know. Mercenaries tend to be for hire, and I don't know that they'd necessarily repeat the same business over and over again, but maybe they would. We have two merchants who, if they're trying to move goods that they don't want elves to see, then they could be suspect.
All of these boats didn't want people to know who was bringing them in, though.
Right, but specifically, who might be bringing something in that they're trying to hide from the general public?
Do we know anything about these other captains?
Nothing's listed in the books.
Yeah, I suppose this means we'd have to approach the ships to find out.
Which one do? Okay, repeating this. The trend, right? That you were looking up. Which of these ships go back further than 10 years? Does his logs go back as far as 10 years?
Yeah, his logs go back almost 20 years.
So which ones of these ships were still delivering 10 years ago when we know trouble like this was still occurring? Because if a
Two
person
ships.
didn't start delivering until 5 years ago, but we know that there was trouble at 10, then we can eliminate the one that...
Isn't that what we narrowed down all of these for? So you're specifically looking for
Or he said 6 months, right?
every 6 months for the past 10 years.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right. Yeah, only 2 of the ships have been here longer than 10.
So that's
2 out of the 5.
Which 2?
The Violet Star and the Sea Maiden Fair.
Well, if we're putting that together with the rest of the information, we know one person showed an interest in Elf Girl.
It does seem to sort of narrow it down a bit, doesn't it?
But then he would have had the opportunity, right? If it was all just about killing elves.
Well,
Plus,
true, but
20 years ago, Zod would have been a younger man.
Yeah.
So he may not have been captain of the ship 20 years ago.
That's fair.
Well,
That's Sea Maiden fair.
And when the two of them were together, they weren't in the dock ward, so maybe it's location dependent, or maybe whatever he's doing that he was trying to hide, he wasn't doing it at that time. Therefore, there was no need to dispose of Adri.
Maybe we could just go and ask.
Well, I think we should find a circus boy and see what he's got to say.
he said he knew my dad and my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think your dad can tell us about him?
My dad didn't like him.
Well, that might be a sign.
He said that Zod made a pass at my mom, and so they fought.
Now he's going after the daughter? What a fucking creep. What a creep.
Well, then, yeah.
Boy,
Maybe we
that
should-
really paprika's my butthole.
I say let's go take in a day at the circus.
What time is it? Because I assume it took a while to kind of do that.
Yeah, you guys are about mid-afternoon.
So when Zod sets everything up, where does he? I mean, I know of course they're keeping the boats on the dock ward, but I assume they're taking whatever their traveling show or whatever, and that's being staged somewhere else, right?
Mm-hmm. He is setting up in the trades ward.
Seems as good a place as any to start.
All right, well, let's go.
All right.
How far away is it?
It's not too far. You guys can reach it within a half hour.
Okay.
Alrighty. So yeah, you guys head off that way. So you guys reach it late afternoonish. You see it's not, well, it is open, the outside of it. You see some of the, there's tents, the workers are around it. You see a bigger tent set up You see kind of some spectacles outside of different animals and whatnot lined up. And the kids are moving through it pretty freely. Other people are moving through it. What would you like to do?
Do we see Zod around?
No, you don't, not yet.
I guess I'm going to approach one of the workers and inquire
All right.
if they know where he is.
An elf looks up at you.
Hmm.
Looking for Zod.
Yeah, I am.
Where's the captain? He's looking around. If he's anywhere, he's probably in the back of the big tent.
All right. Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
As we walk through here, are a lot of the workers elves?
A few of them are elves. You kind of see a mixture of humans and elves.
Okay. What about Zod himself? He was human or elf?
Human.
All right. Not
Yeah.
racially profiling.
Yeah, no worries. You guys out of the big tent. Inside, you guys see some guard drakes being trained by Whip, and they're getting them to react. A tamer inside just pretty much doing what he's doing, keeping the guard drakes trained and whatnot. Zod's sitting there on a stool watching off to the side, just kind of eating one of those out of a bag, enjoying himself.
I don't see any reason why not just to approach him.
Yeah.
I assume he prefers to be referred to as captain, or
It seems that what everyone around calls
Okay.
him.
The
Then I'll-
Crunchberry King.
Captain Zod.
Looks up. Mr. Trichet.
How are you, sir?
He tips his hat. He stands up. Mr. Raven.
Mm.
My lady. He offers to take your hand.
Oh, I'll give him my hand.
He kisses it.
And then cuts
That
it
is
off
so
and puts it in a jar.
Ah,
He's like, a pleasure to see you all again.
oh.
You guys didn't pay to get in, did you?
No.
No.
We're actually
All
a
right.
little bit. We're here more on business, I guess you
I would
could say.
never pay to see this.
Well, it's not for you. It's for the children.
Because it seems very childish.
You motherfucker. You know that?
Someone's got to be the voice of fucking negativity here.
He's like, you want negativity? You go talk to my tamer.
I didn't say that out loud.
Oh. He's like, he looks over. He's like, I pay to get that man out of prison. He used to work for the Cult of Dragon, with guard drakes. He does amazing with them in shows.
Oh.
So it looks like preparations are going well.
Oh, we're gonna have a killer show tonight.
Here, let me
Granted,
show you
the-
Preparation H.
Drakes don't hurt anyone.
I kind of mutter to myself, that's an interesting choice of words.
It'll be a killing.
People will die of
God.
fun.
God, like a
It'll be a
Scooby-Doo
sleigh
villain.
of laughs.
It's going to be blood running everywhere and down the aisles from. I don't know how to finish that one.
There's going to be an untimely murder of humor. What?
What?
That's not how that.
What did I
What?
say?
What are you? Dad sharpening his knife sharply.
Now
But
I'm so-
alas, you guys came on business?
Oh, indeed. I would have to imagine you have heard about some of the things that have been going on in the dock ward recently. There have been some rather gruesome murders. There's no real way to dance around the issue. And seeing that the dock ward does sort of fall underneath my jurisdiction, I do take it upon myself to try and figure out what the hell's going on. And it would seem that, you take frequent trips here and you park your boats in the dock. I know you move things back and forth quite a bit. I was interested to get your take on anything strange you may have seen, anything you may have heard, whispers amongst those of you who, let's say, dabble in secrecy. I'm not here to out anybody. I'm just here to get down to the plain and simple truth. So any information you have, I would be much obliged if you'd share. And this has, just as much about keeping your safety and security and the safety and security of your staff as much as is anything else, because, a lot of these murders that are taking place are elves, and I happen to notice you have quite a few of them here as performers and workers, and I'd hate to see anything bad happen to them here during these times.
While Rain is talking, can I I want to look around like it's like I'm just looking at the circus, but I want to do an investigation check to see if there's anything kind of weird going on, if anyone's acting strangely.
All right.
That's an 18 on my investigation.
You do notice a lot of people are watching you guys now as you guys are talking to Zod.
Are they watching just because it's like, oh, someone's talking to the boss, or is it like they're suspicious of us, or like they're kind of like on edge?
B.
Okay.
Not on edge, just they're suspicious of outsiders. They're carny folk, for one. And two, you're talking to the boss. They all heard the rumors about the other night about the boss and the carriage with the young elf.
We were.
I know. I know.
Oh my god.
Just seeing you flustered though makes it more fun.
If it helps, I went ahead and made a persuasion roll at a 16.
All right, thank you. So he smiles and he's like, "So now that you say elves are dead, I'm guessing it's not tied to those two poor souls that had their throats slit."
So you've heard about that as well?
I heard about that. Well, yeah, I mean, the investigation of the docks as we were trying to unload things. The investigation carried through the morning.
Yeah.
And then I guess there was another death somewhere. It wasn't in our way, so not really worth looking into for us. Elves died. Some of my favorite people are elves. I hate to see my crew get hurt.
What kind of weaponry does this guy have?
On him right now?
Yeah.
Let
I
me
promise
check.
this is relevant.
Oh no, I know. You wouldn't ask if it wasn't.
Yeah. I gotta justify everything that I do through the eyes of a soldier or a doctor, though. I can't just be like Investigation Johnny. That's a guy, by the way. Investigation Johnny is a famous detective that I just made up for this.
You can tell he's weighted with some daggers right now. But since he's in the city, he most likely is following city code. So he's not carrying what would be considered a main weapon.
Right, but the daggers, they're just standard, not hooked or weird shape.
It's not that they're weird shaped. You can definitely tell they're for throwing.
Throwing. Okay.
Yeah, these are not like run of the mill. I bought a dagger cheap at the merchant shop. Also, you'd be really damaging some beautiful knives if you used them for anything but just throwing and whatnot. They're perfectly balanced.
Okay. I'm gonna walk kind of beside him and then maybe kind of pass around behind him, see how he reacts.
He doesn't look at you. Give me a perception.
Okay. 21.
All right. You can, as you're walking around him, he's focusing on Rain, but you can tell that somehow, some way, you feel like he does have an eye on you. Like he hasn't not noticed you walking around his, purposely through his blind spot.
When I walk behind him, I want to start to say, seems suspicious that so many elves specifically would be targeted. What trait do elves have in common? What kind of trait? They're tall.
20 years.
Fair features.
Pointy ears.
They don't sleep, I hear.
Stuck up.
Every day.
Not you, of course, Adri.
What is that? They don't sleep, right?
That's what I've been told.
Interesting.
That's what I've been told. Though I wouldn't work my guys like that. If you're here from the Union, my guys don't work those kind of hours. They get their mandatory rest.
What do you suspect would be a reason to target elves?
Well, see, I'm not just from Waterdeep. I travel quite a bit.
Yeah.
The only thing, I mean, if you're going to target elves, I'd probably look into a hobgoblin.
A hobgoblin. You think?
Hobgoblins hate elves.
Right.
I mean,
They
they have
walk around all the time in the streets.
no, but they're militaristic and they're keen-minded. They'll
Right.
go after an elf before they go after anything else in battle.
And notoriously stealthy.
Yes, nasty little things.
Hmm.
But again, I haven't heard any reports of hobgoblins in the street, so
They seem like the dagger wielding folk as well, ones that would sneak right up on you, right?
hobgoblin could
Mm-hmm.
if you weren't quick enough.
Yeah. What are you traveling between locations for?
Get tired of one city, go to another. Sometimes I like to go home.
You ever get in on that underhanded trade kind of stuff, going port to port? I bet you can make a killing.
You could if you know the right people.
And you seem to know a lot about a lot. You knew when all the murders took place.
I pay for good information.
So you'd probably be aware of some people that we could talk to about moving goods like that. Since you get good information.
Are you telling me that you want to move some illicit goods?
If I
Are
were,
you on a magical wire? Are you with the watch? Trying to get our license revoked? I know they've been trying to get us out.
You have
No,
to tell
no,
me
no.
if you're on the watch.
you have to tell me. Yeah, if I ask, you have to say it. That's not true, by the way. They don't have to say. That's a stupid thing potheads made up that just does not exist. If you're a cop, you have to tell me. No, they don't. No, they don't. There's a whole thing called a sting operation. They literally, that's their whole job. Undercover.
That's the whole point.
Yeah, they don't have to do that. I don't know where the fuck that started.
Nobody said stoners were the brightest of people,
No.
especially stoned.
All I'm saying, and I'm not saying I want to.
Nothing against stoners. I was one through high school and college.
I'm just saying that if we were to try to look for someone that was moving some illegal goods, or maybe something they didn't want people to know about, maybe someone who, I don't know, moved a ship in, tried to keep it off the records or the logs or anything like that, maybe that kind of person would know who I should talk to.
That person would know who you should talk to if you were not saying that you would, the upstanding person you are, want to move something out of port without the watch knowing about it or the dock master. You've been paying the city taxes on bringing it in.
Yeah.
Which,
Do you
not
think that would
saying
be-
I would dodge city taxes, bring it in. City taxes are how the city floats, but
Right.
they are a little high here in Waterdeep. Looking at you, Rain. They are a little high.
Oh, I'm not going to sit here and argue with it, but then again, I'm not the one that gets to set them. But I'll
True.
certainly pass along your concerns to the council the next time we meet.
That's all I ask.
Absolutely, it's the least I can do for the citizens that I am in charge of.
Hey, David.
Yes.
Can I investigate to see if the workers are armed?
Sure.
Okay. 21.
They have 2 arms apiece.
They're armed.
Okay. Is it more than like, hey, I have my pocket knife for like opening crates and whatever?
Every now and then you see a pistol sticking out of one of their pants. Tucked under shirts, but you can definitely pick up that there's a pistol.
That's interesting because I am proficient with firearms. So I definitely noticed that. And I mean, that's not like a common weapon.
No. Not at all.
Okay.
Something odd also you see is a few hand crossbows.
Is anyone like reaching for a weapon or anything? Because we're all just
No.
talking.
No.
Everyone's cool. We're all just talking.
Oh yeah, nobody's This is like a Mexican standoff without any Mexicans. No, we're not there yet.
Okay.
Actually, a Mexican standoff would be if all of us had different sides.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
I can't let either of them know this, but I'll tell them at a later time.
All right. No, so Zod's kind of scratching. I don't normally like throwing a rival business under the bow of the ship. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Not one to keyhaul somebody. But if I would put my money on a ship bringing things in they shouldn't be supposed to be, I definitely would go for the Crimson Jackal.
Why is that?
Let's just say the captain ain't what he appears to be. He may look human, but he ain't. That man is not human. I guarantee it.
I want to roll a medicine check on this guy. To confirm some biological signs.
All right.
Dude, I'm the ballingest doctor in the whole world. 24. See, it sounds silly, but when you ask someone a question like, what do you think about this crime? What do you think that means? They'll almost never admit exactly what seems most like how the crime would have actually been committed. They'll almost always tell you if they're guilty some other thing that you might not have thought of. Do you know what I'm saying? If you ask, like, who do you think would have killed that person? They're never going to be like, well, I know it looks like I did it, but I didn't. They'll be...
Or shift the blame.
Yeah, try to put you on another track. But the thing is that, a person who really didn't do it would be like, look, I get it. It looks bad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's Zod. There isn't anything saying he's not human and he's not Zod.
No, he seems healthy.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't seem to have
nothing sick about him. I mean, he is on the older side these days of...
All right, well, I'm like, I always thought circuses were creepy. And it's good to see that I wasn't wrong. And I'm just going to start to walk away.
Zod's like, that man was not hugged enough as a child.
No, I think that's a pretty accurate statement. Fortunately, he's a much better doctor than his bedside manner would, suggest.
He's like, it's okay. Your father can't control you no more. You're angry at him, not at me.
Well, Captain, I appreciate your candor. Thank you very much.
Tips his hat. Of course.
And hope you all have a good show. What is it you all say? Break a leg?
Yeah. Or
break
femur.
An arm, too. Better get real lucky.
Nah.
And I suppose we'll take our leave.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Lady, don't be a stranger.
I'm gonna leave.
Give your dad my best.
Can I just be for real with you?
Okay.
My professional sense outside of game is fucking screaming at me that this guy's full of shit. But out of that, I have no reason to justify that opinion for this character. So let's just keep moving, I guess. Unless you guys have some sort of...
Well, I'm gonna wait until we're away from the workers and stuff, and I'm gonna say all of his employees had like either pistols, which is rare on its own, or like hidden crossbows. They were all paying attention to
It's definitely
guys talking
something.
to him.
Definitely something sketchy about that guy. Can't put my finger on it. Or in it. I tried. I got right behind him. He's very tight butthole about the whole deal.
He even winked at you.
With his butt. It was weird.
Yep.
You ever see someone wink with their butthole? It's creepy.
I can't say that I have.
All right.
All right, so it's probably getting into early evening at this point.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I think we should tie Rachel to a string and drag her through the docks.
No,
And just wait to see who comes for her.
I don't like this plan.
Do we like take a box and lean it up on one edge and put a stick under it, and then tie a rope to that stick, and then put Rachel under the box? And
Yeah, so
then...
they'll trap.
Don't-
Yeah, but then she's under the...
I don't like this plan, and also you guys are saying Rachel and not Adri.
Oh, that's true. Sorry. We play this game together so much, and most of our interactions are either with our characters in game or in Messenger, where sometimes the name comes up as a character, right?
Yeah.
So it's easy to blend identities. I'm sorry.
No, mine's just because I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
That's all right.
We can probably start. I mean, this might be a good place to wrap up.
Well, yeah. If y'all want, I don't want to cut y'all's night short.
That's cool.
No, it's pretty late here.
Hey, someone make a note on their notes, because mine doesn't really have a place for it other than my weapons
All right.
section. That the next thing that we should check out is the Crimson Jackal, or
Yeah.
the whatever that one's called.
Okay. We should do that
Alright.
tomorrow.
All right. So we leave the circus,
Yes.
and so if it's late afternoon, certainly don't want to be around the dock ward
No.
as we get into evening. I suppose heading back to the manor and comparing notes and preparing for whatever we're going to do the next day is as good a idea as any at this point.
Yep. We can also check in with the ghosts and see if anyone tried to look for the mirror.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting.
As you approach the manor,
Information.
you see the door open, ajar just slightly.
A door or a jar?
The door's ajar.
They've replaced the door with a jar. Does
It's
it have a head in it? A big head? Door-sized head.
the biggest head.
Okay,
Was
so I'm
it-
going to rush in with the shield out.
As you rush in with the shield out, you see Alicia tied in the corner, Kretz tied in the corner, and you see another. It catches you off. You see a drow standing in front of you.
I'm going to take the spear and the shield, drop the shield, and pull the spear out.
On each arm, he has a small buckler, and as you do that, he hits them together and locks them in together, almost to form a larger shield. And you hear a rotation, and a blade pops out the center.
What? Are Rain and I assume Rain
What
and
are
I
you guys
would
doing?
run in after
hmm
Kavir.
Yeah, absolutely.
As you guys do, you hear cocking from a pistols above you. There's a second drow. I told you we catch that elf again. And we end here.
I'm going to fuck this wannabe shield motherfucker up. I'm going to fuck him up. You guys handle pistol, bitch. I'm going to beat the shit out of shield fucking
Rachel,
Captain
please,
Hysteria.
God, leave this in the episode.
You don't come into my house, tie up my nurse, fucking whatever with the other guy. I don't care. And then wave a shield around like you're in charge of this shit. This is my hospital, motherfucker. I'm about to ER you the fuck down the stairs. I'm gonna be doctor, throw you out my house.
Oh. God, do you know how hard it was for me not earlier when you started making the heads and the jars move around and having L making them talk? There was a talk. What was it? I was just thinking there's a talking heads joke in here somewhere. It's like, please don't go burning down the house while we're gone.
Yeah, I forget how much I like their music until I hear it.
Until you hear it, yeah.
Weird.
Thanks for listening to Freelance Heroism Plays Dragon Heist. If you would like to support us, please check out our Patreon. We're at patreon.com/freelance_heroism. We have different things there. Character journals, art, bloopers, stuff like that.
Our cast includes me as Dr. Kavir the Raven, Rachel as Adri the Highborn Artificer, Nate as Rain Trichet, Dockside Officiant, and of course, D-Walk as Dr. Midnight, and everybody else in the game. Thanks for listening to Freelance Heroism Plays Dragon Heist, and we don't invoice in this group. We'll be back next week with more episodes, so stay tuned. Yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah, but painting white's always tricky,
Yeah.
especially when you don't have like a setting with which to stage it. So there's no what's the word I'm looking for? Ambient color to tone the white. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could try maybe painting in this is going to be the worst intro of all time. This is the worst intro, right?
I'm going to cut this. I'm not going to keep this in the intro.
You could just cut out chunks of it and it'll just be like the edit noise in between. What are we going to talk about? We'll figure something out. And then you paint the bottom part, and then January 6th people are idiots. You know? That's just the worst intro.